What's going on, everybody? Mortem here, this time bringing you a look at the recently released indie title of The RPG, which is just its name. But what this actually is a parody of just general RPG mechanics, mostly Skyrim, but also some other ones thrown in there. And after it was brought to my attention, I had to jump on and take a look at it for myself, and honestly, I thought it was hilarious, and that's why I'm bringing you this video, of course. So this very, I would say, minimalistic RPG that I believe was mostly made by one guy pokes fun at, again, mostly Skyrim, but also other stuff. There's a reference to like Souls-likes with bonfires and things like that serving as checkpoints, a mushroom cannon, things like that. And while that's honestly all well and good if you're into that kind of thing, the fun stuff about this and what really captures me is that if you look beyond it, there is actually a fun little RPG in here with some choice and consequence that, while not a particularly deep experience, did keep me pretty well engaged, and I do plan on finishing this probably on my own time. This game is small enough that I don't think it really warrants a full review, as this video is pretty much going to capture everything there is to know about it in terms of like making a decision for yourself. Now this game kicks off with you riding in the back of a wagon, having been caught at the border, in what has to be a pretty similar feeling start. It actually goes off the rails pretty fast because the people here aren't actually prisoners and neither are you, but that doesn't make much of a difference because before you know it, you're attacked by the glitchy dragon. And while he is in fact quite glitchy and can't fly straight, that's intentional. Glitchy Dragon is his name, and he consistently breaks the rules of this game, almost as if there's something more going on here. And then you find yourself in the midst of the most in-depth character creator you've ever seen, being able to pick your face, head size, and it says skin color, but I have to tell you that nothing about that looks like skin to me. Afterwards, you wake up in the hospital, in the village at the center of the island you find yourself on, and this village is in the business of dungeons and raids, as per the orders of the cool king, who is in fact very cool according to all accounts, including the king himself, who has decreed a law that he is in fact very cool. Now your job from here is basically to explore this little open world, which is essentially this island, the dungeons below, uncovering secrets, handling quests, progressing, of course, and even making some decisions. If you want to get real crazy, you can even find the source of the water on this island, which from what I understand is a very popular thing to do on YouTube these days. And while there are certainly quests and things galore to get up to, one of the first things that's going to draw your attention is actually none other than the dungeon, which in fact seems to be a business being ran here in the middle of town. You can stock up at the vending machines in the market. You can do this by effectively just gathering up everything you see, which all gets converted to generic loot, which you can then sell to a pawn shop to get gold to upgrade your singular weapon and armor in these vending machines, which are just like straight upgrades. There's not like a proper inventory system where you'll swap things out on the fly, but rather a very linear progression via these vending machines to what you have on you. Once you head into the dungeon, or first you have to buy a ticket and then head into the dungeon, you can fight off enemies, ultimately making your way to a boss at the end of each floor, which is also going to, thanks to the glitchy dragon, unlock a scream for you. Because as we all know, dragons in general are pretty big fans of screaming at each other. But on the way, the dragon will actually give you a bit of other important information. Basically, that not everything here is clearly as it seems to be, and if you can get to the bottom of this dungeon and defeat said dragon, you may just figure out what's going on here for yourself, because obviously the cool king isn't up to snuff here. Strange things are going on this island. This dungeon is in fact being serviced via all sorts of maintenance workers whose job it is to keep the torches lit, the loot flowing, the monsters healed up after each encounter. So business keeps flowing. Now, while you're doing all of that, you're bound to level up. Leveling up is a very simple affair. You basically get 3 skill points per level that you can then put into any of these different abilities. And that combined with gear progression is basically everything there is in terms of character progression, with everything else really being down to like knowledge of where to go, things like that. And when you're not in the dungeon itself, you can get up to all sorts of really funny quests. Like, for instance, one of the guys you came to the island with has clearly had his mouth bandaged shut, and in order to get it off, you have to do a little work for the healer, whose apprentice has turned into a necromancer who's determined that that is in fact a form of healing. But you've got to go put down his undead minions, and once you do that, you can then get the healer to give you the all-important know-how in order to just remove a band-aid from a guy. Along the way, during your adventures, you may well get teleported and wind up in the house of someone taking a bath, which I feel like might actually be a reference to Divinity Original Sin. I'm not sure if that was intentional or not, because there's a very similar thing that happens there where you get teleported into someone's bathroom. Although I do think it's fun when parody games have me questioning whether or not something is an intentional joke or is just seen as something funny. Along the way, you will see some sort of fugitive running from the guards in town who's going to chuck you a gun for mushrooms. Mushrooms are everywhere. You can pick them up and also get a special type of mushroom to shoot out of this gun, which can give you some ranged options. There's also bombs, which will do the same thing. You can find portal runes to help you fast travel around the island faster. Later on, there is, again, factions and choices. If you read some of the achievement descriptions, you can immediately kind of puzzle out what some of this stuff is, but there's clearly going to be some choice and consequence towards the end as you figure out what exactly is going on with this island and why everything here is the way that it is. But the fun doesn't stop there, because you also get access to things like a double jump, which is going to let you access a bunch of secret areas, of which there are a great many, whether that be walking in on a guy having some sort of party with demonic entities, trying to find a pardon for the archer who's about to be hanged because the king has declared that bows are for cowards and that's why you can't use one in the dungeons because it is forbidden, and a whole host of just other little fun stuff like that. And when you throw all of that together, I think you kind of get the idea of what the RPG is all about. And it's honestly really funny. Now, as you could probably tell from the gameplay, it's not exactly a complicated game to play. It's kind of light on all of those things. You've basically got a basic attack, a charged up heavy attack. You can block with whatever weapon you have. If you perfect block, you can cause an enemy to be stunned for a while. It does not appear that blocking blocks all damage, but you will be able to heal via just a bunch of healing items you pick up, which are typically bread-based in some form or another. But all in all, I think you kind of get the gist. That is the RPG, which hopefully, if you want to check out for yourself, you will enjoy as well. Right now, it's on a small launch discount. I believe it is like $15 full price. I might actually drop the link to this one over on Steam. I had a little bit of trouble finding it myself, so hopefully that'll make it a little easier for people in general, as it does not seem to want to come up initially when you search for it. But otherwise, that's pretty much all I've got for you. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do wind up checking it out, I would love to know what you think about it down in the comment section below, which of course means to like, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube jazz. But regardless of any of that, truly, just thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. May you wander in wisdom and have an amazing day.